former Wales prop Rhys Thomas now. Somebody, Andrew, you probably know quite well from your Dragons days. Well, he used to play for the Scarlets as well, so I'm sure he was watching yesterday with a bit of interest. Well, he had to quit the game back in 2012 after some severe health issues, and it's been a really tough 10 years for him, actually, since then as well. He's been speaking to our reporter Lauren Jenkins in a very honest interview.
It was 26th of January 2012. I was in the gym at Parky Scarlets. It was, pretty standard session for a Monday morning. Had about 5 minutes to go, and then literally just bang. I just felt super dizzy. I walked down the corridor and just slid against my back against the wall and decked it. When the ambulance came, then they put the ECGs on my chest, and they confirmed my worst nightmare, and obviously I was having a heart attack. At this moment in time, all I cared about was rugby, and I was just I didn't think I was going to die, but I was looking at the doctor and I was like, mate, am I going to be all right? Am I going to be able to play again? And then my pain started to intensify. The doctor said, listen, we need to take you for an emergency bypass. That's when it started to dawn upon me, I was proper scared then, I was crying. I hugged my wife, I just told her I loved her. I told her to tell the kids I loved them, and literally just like that, they injected me with a general anesthetic, and then, boom.
And then it got to a point after multiple operations where the doctors told you, I'll give you two choices. You've got 12 months to live, you see out your days, or you have an artificial pump planted that will keep your heart beating.
I obviously took the machine, and I had that operation in 2014, and I didn't wake up post-op for 2 weeks. Basically, my chance of survival was diminishing daily, and then luckily I did after 2 weeks wake up, and but when I woke up, my life was massively different. I was literally now run by a machine that was keeping me alive, and half man, half machine. So this is the machine. It's literally a pump that's implanted into the left side of my heart. It sucks the blood out through to a pump that then pumps it through a tube that's connected to my aorta. And then there's a wire that comes around here and straight out of my stomach. And this wire then goes into my man bag, where this is the power module. Because the machine basically does the job of the left side of my heart, it sucks the blood out and it pumps it around my body then. So instead of my blood being pulsed around my body, it just flows. So it just continually flows. So I don't actually have a pulse. It just goes around my body. So yeah, that's pretty mad. I'd ask the doctors about this machine, and I'd say, how long will it last? And they would say, well, it just depends. How long is a piece of string? And my mental, what was a physical battle really started to become a mental battle. I couldn't see a positive future. My reality was one that I couldn't deal with at the time. The only way I knew how to deal with it was to escape. My escape was alcohol. Those years were bad. The people that suffered the most during those times was my family, because they saw me implode. And it was tough, and I look back on it now, it was hard. And I thank God, for my ex-wife. She was able to identify that I had a huge problem, but I was in a huge amount of denial. My wife reached out to my friends, my best friends from school, and my dad and my half-brother chipped in, and they sent me off to a rehab. It was a life-changing event for me.
You talk about your life as a rugby player as a past life. Yeah. Do you very much feel as though you're a person who's lived two different lives, that you've been almost two different people?
No, absolutely. It's honestly, I find it quite mad, actually, if I'm honest. I was excited, wild. I left Joburg at 18. My dad was Welsh. I had an opportunity to come to Newport in the academy. It just kind of snowballed, I ended up playing for Wales 21s. We won the Grand Slam, the Six Nations, and then got my first cap in 2006. And you know, that 3 years with Wales was just like, it was just unbelievable. You know, everything I ever dreamed of from a 13-year-old boy, and to live your dream was very special. But I let it get away from me.
You say you let it get away from you. What would you tell your younger self?
Oh, I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't have listened. So there's nothing I could have said that would have helped.
And what are your hopes for, firstly, the short-term future, and if all goes to plan, the long-term future too?
Short-term future, wow. Short-term future, stay healthy, just keep doing what I'm doing, and trust the process. In the long term, obviously I'd like to have a heart. I hope the operation is a success. I hope that the organ is a good match. I hope that I get longevity from that organ, and I hope I keep, I'm able to stay here and keep impacting and helping others be the best versions of themselves too.